Once upon a time, in the days of the forest spirits, there lived a merchant named Adeyemi. The forest spirits lived in the spirit world, but when they visits Earth, they would take on human form. There came a time where the home of those forest spirit was bushy, so their leader sent one of the forest spirits to purchase some hoes on Earth. On leaving their home, the forest spirit transformed to a beautiful lady and went straight to the market to get the hoe. On getting to the market, it went to Adeyemi. On seeing her appearance, Adeyemi was attracted to her. The beautiful lady asked Adeyemi, "What's the price of one of your hoes?" Adeyemi replied that it is 12 kobo, but she priced it to 6 kobo, and being attracted to her appearance, he sold it for that price, even though he would not make profit that way. Immediately after the purchase, the forest spirit turned to go her way, but Adeyemi called her back, confessing to her that he liked her and wished to follow her to her place. But the forest spirit told him up front that he couldn't follow her, because where she stays would not be conducive for the likes of him, and the distance is also far. Adeyemi refused, saying there's nothing that he can't handle. Left with no choice, she allowed him to tag along. All Adeyemi was banking on was his strength, because back in his village he is a champion there when it comes to combat. Confidently, he followed her. On their way, the forest spirit sang a warning song.
Ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn o, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn o, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò àrò, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò ẹ̀jẹ̀, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò àrò, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò ẹ̀jẹ̀, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn o, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn o, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn o, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò àrò, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò ẹ̀jẹ̀, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò àrò, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, bó o bá dẹ̀yìn ó kodò ẹ̀jẹ̀, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn, dẹ̀yìn ọlọ́kọ̀ ìdẹ̀yìn.
Adeyemi ignored her feeling so very confident in his ability, believing that with enough strength, nothing would be impossible. The first stop was a river called Odo Aro. But what surprised Adeyemi is that the river was dark. The bushes were also dark instead of being green. Also, he saw a canoe that drove itself towards their direction, and immediately they boarded. It moved towards the other side to drop them. Adeyemi's mother had died some time ago, but suddenly his mother appeared to Adeyemi, telling to turn back, but he ignored his mother. Not knowing how else to convince him, she gave him slippers to use at the next stop so he can pass the next hurdle, which is Blood River, without dying. On getting to the Blood River, he saw no canoe, but saw a thin bamboo stick in it. Seeing this, the forest spirit wore her own slippers. Adeyemi was shocked because he discovered without those slippers he received from his mother, he would die while trying to cross. Without delay, he wore the slippers and stepped on the bamboo stick to which they crossed successfully. They kept going. Later, they got to the last stop to enter Spirit World, which is the abode of the forest spirit. Looking around, Adeyemi was shocked and afraid because he saw very disturbing and strange things. On getting to the entrance to the forest spirit's abode, the forest spirit entered and Adeyemi followed her. Getting inside, he was surprised because he saw different kinds of forest spirits. One with 2 heads, 3 heads till it got to the spirit with 10 heads. Seeing Adeyemi, the forest spirits were happy because they saw him as prey. One of the spirits told Adeyemi that he would never walk out of there alive because no living being has entered and left alive. Adeyemi begged and pleaded for a chance to save himself. On hearing this, the leader said to him that they could grant his desire, but he had to pass a test before he could leave. The test was a combat test. He had to defeat all the forest spirits. Adeyemi was happy because he believed he was strong enough to pass the test. They started the test, and he defeated the first spirit up to the sixth spirit, but he started getting tired when he got to the seventh because the more heads, the more strength each forest spirit possessed. On seeing his kins killed by Adeyemi, the forest spirit with 10 heads decided to fight him alone, and won in the end. He killed Adeyemi and decided to resurrect his kins that were killed in combat. On seeing this, Adeyemi's mother used the same herb the lead forest spirit used. Adeyemi resurrected. Adeyemi's mother turned to a bird to pick him up and returned him to nearby his previous location on Earth and returned to the outer realm. On getting back to his market location, people rushed to Adeyemi, and he narrated all he saw on his trip. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment what you gained from this story.
Ó bá dẹ̀yìn ó kó dòkó ẹ̀jẹ̀.